Blog Talk Radio.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walk in His ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Thurman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking His Ways, Impact Voice. I'm your host, Thurman Jackson Jr., broadcasting again from my hometown, my city of Mobile, Alabama. I hope everybody's having a great Friday noon. This is a very special episode to me. It's a family affair today, of course. I'll be interviewing my cousin here on the broadcast, where she brings her fire, energy, to what she's doing in her hometown, not just her hometown, but around the world with her message, with her just everything she represents here in our generation to impact and enlighten others. So I'm very excited to have her here. And also I thank everybody for tuning in, of course. Tuning in live, also better tune in to the replay as well. But like I said, I'm excited. I thank everybody once again for tuning in and be a part of today's broadcast here on Walk This Way Impact Voice. But I'm not going to prolong the time over there to pull my guest in here on the show. We're about to go to shop it up as she drops some knowledge, drops some insightful wisdom for y'all to be able to apply to your lives. And I just want to say to my cousin, welcome to Walking His Ways Impact Voice.
Thank you, cousin. What's up? What it do? Coming from St. Louis. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling well. I thank you for taking time to be the schedule. I want to say I love what you're doing. I've been following you quite some time, and you're full of energy. You're full of fire. You're full of passion, and I'm very thankful for you. I thank God for you, of course. I thank God for our family bloodline because we have a very successful family. And truly blessed. Everybody in our family is very successful, but give God the glory for that because like I said, we have a great bloodline, and
Glory
I just love
God.
what you're doing, and just keep doing what you're doing. Like I said,
thank you. Thank you.
And like I said,
I appreciate you, and I love what you're doing also. So when I see great things happening, I'm always interested in connecting to amazingness. I'm always interested in, moving God's word and His message just across all platforms, because I believe at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can do without God, baby. It ain't me. And so I give God the glory for it. And, yes, we have some amazing people in our family that have led the way for us. Speaking about my grandma, your auntie, Vanny Nell Cook, baby, she led the way in a lot of the things that I'm doing today. And she was the one who taught me how to really recognize God's voice and how to operate in my confidence that God gave me. That came from my grandma, Farman.
And that's true, and that's a blessing and an honor. It really is. She was a very strong woman, and I know my grandmother, her sister passed before I was born, and so she took me and my other two brothers as her grandchildren, because we never had that experience, because like I said, her sister passed before I was born. I'm truly thankful for her personality, and her strong will to be a great woman. And once again, and we don't age. That's another thing about our family lineage. None of us don't age, and all look great for our age. And I truly blessed on that as well also.
Ain't it a blessing? It is.
It is. Everybody get chop it up, cuz. And I know you got a lot of stuff you want to bring to the table here on Impact Voice. And it is a family affair. And I'm asking you this question. This is my first time interviewing my cousin. It's truly a blessing. But my first question is, who is Kesha Kent?
That's a good question. And Kesha Kent is really a person who is evolving every single day. And I'll take you all the way back to little Kesha, who was told to be quiet, not don't do this, don't do that. And I think one of the things that happened along the way is I lost some of that in a younger age. And because of that, today I look back at it as an adult and I can see those things. And it really, truly has inspired me to show up as my authentic self. And one of the things that I get to do is I'm a wife to my first love. I met him when I was 12 years old here in St. Louis. He was 13. And then I moved away. Our family up and moved away to the Chicago area. And so I lost touch with him. But we reunited in 2007, and we have not skipped a beat. And so everything that I do, I have my husband pushing, his backing, his support, his love. Everything about him has helped me become more vocal, become even more confident as a leader. And also what I do is I am a speaker, and I love to motivate individuals to teach people the power of their voices, the power of the connectivity and the insight that God has given us all. And as a speaker, the things that I get to do is I get to train and develop. I MC events. I host events. If individuals are looking for people to move the crowd and keep them going, that's me. I bring the energy. And then full time, I work right now in diversity and inclusion, and I switch gears a little bit. I was going to say I was recruiting, and I have a human resource background. So my background has always been a love for people and connecting people. And I connected the two when I launched my brand, MrsKeshSpeaks, which is my national brand, where I get to go all over the world and be connected to organizations and individuals to teach the power of being cohesive. Because oftentimes what will happen is people show up to organizations, to events in the world, period, but there's no cohesion. There's no real relationships happening. And so here I come to kind of stir that pot. And I recently launched my podcast, Networking It's Your Superpower, because I know that during these times, we got to stay connected. And if we're not being connected, we're missing the piece of really what it is that we can do in life, because it's all about connectivity, and everything that we do is relational. That was a mouthful.
And that's awesome stuff. And that's awesome stuff. And you know, that you being that light in this dark time, this negative, you want to say negative time, because I know with the coronavirus 19, people worry about this and that with the things shutting down, but you moving forward into the things that God has called you to do. And that leads us to my next question. MrsKeshSpeaks, how did that name all come about with your brand?
Thank you. Good question. And in 2012, I originally launched my speaking platform, and I kind of tinkered with what I wanted it to say and how I wanted it. I know I wanted it to be something where my name was in it, and we went back and forth, and it's crazy because my oldest daughter, who's 23 now, she came up with the name, and so I give her all credit for that. And she was like, all right, Mom, this is what it should be, and it sounds good. And we went with that. And then I even went a little bit further and purchased the LLC, the domain name, and all those things that come with really being serious about it. So it was then that I got serious, and I said, you know what, let me start working on a legacy for my grandkids.
And that's beautiful. You know, stepping out, building your brand. And like I said, I know you're doing a lot of amazing work within the St. Louis area with the podcast, with different interviews. I checked out a lot of your interviews with different shows on YouTube, and you have a very interesting story as well, background that I never knew anything about. Like I said, you just learn stuff all the time, and I'm going to get into that as well also. But also with your experience, with 17 years of experience. So with all that experience you had within the healthcare field, into your brand, into your business, how did that play a role into everything leading up to MrsKeshSpeaks?
Yeah, that's another great question. Truly what happened is I was in this place where I had been laid off in 2005, and I recognized that there was something that was happening in the economy, and it was hard for me to take my bachelor's degree and my experience and come to the table. But what I started saying at that time is, not only am I building stuff for these other companies, why am I not doing that? So that was when something started to click in the inside of me, and I started really so I would develop training programs for organizations. They'd have me to come in. We'd go over the new hire process and be energy-driven person. Everything that I do is always going to be centered around energy. But I recognized that was something that I had, and it was a gift. And so I started to then develop what I wanted to be as a brand. And I said, you know what? I'm training. I'm doing this staffing. I'm doing recruitment. I'm doing all these things for these other companies. And I had to think about, how am I going to take that and make it into mine? And the fact of the matter is, those were already my gifts. And because they were my gifts already, I was able to really keep doing what I do. So oftentimes what I've done, the work as well as my business, sometimes it kind of overlaps, and it can be the same thing. So I get to be Kesha every single day, and that's what helped me with just really walking into this purpose that God has given me in these gifts.
And that's beautiful. Like I said, you're taking that wealth of knowledge, that wealth of experience you had into your own brand. Of course, like I said, you constantly keep going, and that's a beautiful thing. And I know that the spirit of entrepreneurship does run our family household. I say family household. It is through our family. Yeah, and it runs in the family, and utilizing that too. Also with your organization, how does that with your day-to-day operations and within running the organization, how has that experience been for you?
You know, truly at the end of the day, during this time right now, I've had to pivot, and one of the things that I did during this time was picking up my podcast. Because I'm such an extrovert, I always have to think about, how am I going to be able to be connected to people? So sometimes I was just like, you know what, let me figure out what it is that I'm going to do. And when I had that opportunity to continue and work through the podcast, it's just been really such an opportunity and a great gift. So I just wanted to walk in it and then be able to do that. And it allowed me to keep going in this time, to take everything that I'm doing and really put it to work. And then the truth of the matter is, everything that's supposed to be always is. There's never anything that's missing. Nothing's ever out of place. We just have to make sure that we're pivoting to take it where it's at and then move with it. That's what I always say. You got to take it where it's at and move with it, because at the end of the day, that's all we get, right?
That's true. And like you said something key there, and move with it, moving forward. And that's also a great thing. Moving forward into the things that, like I said, that God has for you, and you fulfilling that purpose, and you fulfilling that destiny that He has for you. And most importantly, I love what you're doing. And I know your wife, I know your mother, and things like that. And I respect, and I love to see married couples, especially in this generation, where people do all type of crazy stuff, but working with your husband and things of that nature. So when it comes to y'all household, it comes to y'all family, which I know we have a strong family history, a very strong family background. Mm-hmm. What's the vision for, with you and your husband, what's the vision for y'all household with y'all 3 daughters?
Yes, our vision is simple. We trust God in all things, and we know that the power that God has given us is something that transcends anything that we do. Everything that we do, there's purpose in it, and we make sure that every day we understand, because the word tells us that without vision, the people perish, and we want to make sure that everything that we do, we set down vision. So we write down things. There's another opportunity that I do. It's my big give back that I do of the year, and it's called my Vision Board Extravaganza. And what I do is I teach individuals the power of creating a vision board, because, of course, we understand that not only will things work if you work it, but when you see it right there in front of you through a vision board, it allows you to put those things into practice. And then it also allows you to stay accountable in everything that you're doing. So the bottom line is, we make sure we're supporting each other. We say right is right and wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter who it is. We live by what God is putting inside of us, and we walk in that. We love God first, then we love people, period, and that includes us and everybody else. But we walk in that purpose, And you know what? That was something that, again, it goes back to my grandma. She put that in me, and she kept that at the forefront of us. Sometimes, Furman, we would go to church 3 and 4 times a week. It was song practice. It was prayer time, Tuesday Bible study. We did all those things, and we would show up on Sunday because, you know, my granny sang in the choir. She led the choir. She went all over the country singing in her choir, and I watched her. When we lived and moved to Chicago, she would come and visit in Chicago, and then we would go watch her in the city of Chicago at churches all over Indiana where she would be singing with her choir. And I'm telling you, that planted a seed in me, and I believe that because she planted that seed in us, as we continue to water it as her offspring and her seed, as we continue to water that, we can walk in that same sort of success and even be able to come to another level and keep those generational things that she taught us at the forefront. But it's all about putting God first in everything that we do.
That's just what it's all about. But we're going to take a quick break, and then after the break, I want you to share your testimony because you have a very interesting testimony from what I heard from one of your interviews the other day that I looked up. So we're going to take a quick break, and after this break, we're going to jump right back with my cousin because this is a family affair. This is the song by the greater play from 4G. He's out of the state of Florida. He has a song called So Amazing with Cannon Jones. And after the song, we're going to jump right back in the interview with my cousin, my older cousin, Ms. KeshSpeaks, as she going to share a testimony after this song. We'll be back to everybody.
You're so amazing. Yeah. You're so amazing. Yeah. Hey. You're so amazing. Hey. You're so amazing. I'm a son by you, so astonishing. You look bright, so promising. You're a great wonder, no wondering. Lord, you're amazing. You're so amazing. Yeah. I'm amazed by you, up in awe. Your ways are perfect and no flaw. Hard to come here and know sounds out, but Lord, you're amazing. You're so amazing. Yeah. The bird through the virgin bird is not a fairy tale. If I had a plan, then a dip bell. Pour it out to let I escape hell. Lord, you're amazing. You're so amazing. Yeah. Set me free, you gave me eternal life. You gave up your life, sacrifice. Made old things new, made it wrong right. Lord, you're amazing. You're so amazing. While he's depending on you whenever life gets hard. And the bastard, you're the son of God. A real chef on my staff, my rock, not like the mother gods, no fake, no fraud. Bigger than bigger, so humongous, the real gorilla. But you ain't no monster, powerful. All sufficient, never 4 times you already existed. You gave your life for me. It's amazing. You set the cap, the screen. It's amazing. You died for rich like me. It's amazing. On that day, on count for me. My God, it's amazing. Look at the grace that I lay up in. Look at the name we entangle with. Look at the flame is lit. You cannot shame a kid. On mission, you know it's every day. And we count the cost, that's a major bank. My sins on the cross, that's a heavyweight. Yeah, you made a way, now we tailor-made. And he the best man all I ever need. Spirit running through me like I'm on an IV. Now they see me shine bright like some high beams. And we dripping with the vision, got the vibe. And we blazing trails like it's daytime. And we bring the heat like it's wave time. And he take the lead like it's game fine. And y'all be my set, so I bang mine. Praying that these young hitters really get it. Hope they know they got amazing, this is not a gimmick. Hope they know the life official, man, it's not a scrimmage. Hope they know that he is risen, you can come and get it. They say that they bout that green like they Kyrie. I say that I'm about my king like a Vladi. They say that they bout that green like they Kyrie. But I say that I'm
Welcome back to Walking This Way's Impact Voice. That was the boy 4G with Cannon Jones. So amazing. We serve an amazing God, of course. And we're back here with my older cousin, Miss Kesha Kent, out of St. Louis. Kesha, I want you to share your testimony because I heard a very powerful testimony that you had of the experience you went to in your life. So I would love for the listening audience to hear your testimony.
Absolutely. Thank you, cousin. And I see how you keep on hinting on this like I'm just 77 years old. I am the oldest.
Well, yes, you are.
I am the oldest. And you know what? Let me just tell you this. And like you said earlier, we have some amazing, beautiful genes in our family, and I'm really thankful for the bloodline that we have. I just am. I'm so thankful. And talking about some of the things that I've gone through, one of the big things that happened to me in my life, my mom and my stepdad split up. We lived here in the St. Louis area, and my family was moved to the Chicago area, and this was a time where I was in 7th grade, y'all, so this was a big deal. And I really feel like one of the things that happened to me during that time, I kind of lost myself. My friends, they were in St. Louis. My cousins, they were in St. Louis. My grandma, who was the biggest everything in my life, she was also in St. Louis. My dad's side of the family, I'm super close to all of them. And then all of a sudden, bam, we relocate. It was something that happened in my spirit, and as I look back as an adult now, looking back in 7th grade, there was a shift that happened inside of me, and as I look back, I felt like it was some sort of, like a depressive kind of spirit, a spirit where the enemy tried to take everything away from me that was in me, that bubbly spirit that I had. All of that stuff was gone because now I was in a new, completely different environment. Here in St. Louis, on our block, in our St. Louis public schools, typically everybody looks the same, which isn't always a good thing. But moving to another city in the Chicago area, now in the Chicago area, it was very diverse. People were all sorts of races, backgrounds, experiences, all these different things. And then when I moved away, I felt like I was lost because I was in this place where I no longer knew. I no longer could get the bus and go to my grandma's house. I no longer could do those things that I was able to do so easily. I didn't know the streets. I didn't know how to get around. I really felt like I was in a place where I didn't know anybody and anything. And it was hard for me. I'm such an extrovert. It was hard for me when I got to that new school in 7th grade to figure out what was going on. It was really hard. The schools, completely different where they were when it came to, like, the lessons. They were doing math that I had even never heard of or never seen. So I felt like I was so far behind, but I didn't feel like I had somebody that I could reach out to. Or maybe I didn't even know how, because I'm thinking back now, I never reached out and told somebody, I don't know what's going on. But I was, during that time, maybe the teacher could have said something or saw that my grades were so low, but they kept going and kept going. Eventually I did catch on, but it took me a while to get adapted to the side, to that side of life in a whole different culture, whole different environment. And then I truly just started to live this promiscuous life. I wasn't doing things that God called me to do. I had my daughter when I was 19. My first daughter, I was 19 years old, in a relationship that I knew, it was taking me from what God had for me, because I was going to follow in the footsteps of my Aunt Phyllis, who was military. That was my plan. She had already prepped me. She had took me to do the ASVAB test. We did all of this stuff. And then it was like something was still pulling at me to rob me of that stuff. It wasn't until junior year that things started to turn around for me. I had an instructor, Mr. Taylor was his name, and he fed so much into me. And he would tell me, I don't know what it is, but here's what I'm going to have you to do. And he would give me lessons. He would put me in groups and allow me to lead that lesson. It was then that my voice was discovered again. He started to tell me things, and I'm telling you, I still was connected to my grandma. I still was connected to my aunts. All those things. My mom was still present. My mom was going through turmoil, though, in her own marriage. And I think that because I was so close up on it, the effects of that And me being the oldest, I was able to see it from a different angle. But again, all those things, they built these things up inside of me that I then was able to teach my children. But again, junior year was that time when there was something that sparked in the inside of me. I then took summer school. I then graduated early. I then started working. I then enrolled in college. Even though I had a little baby at that time, my mom was my biggest support. She would keep my girls. Well, at that time it was just my one daughter, but she would keep her while I was going back to school. I was figuring it out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I got connected to that community college in that area, in the Chicago area. And I'm telling you, I then started to meet people. There was a spark that, again, kicked off in the inside of me. There was an ignition of my flame, of my fire, of the energy and what God had for me. And then it was also like it took baby steps. So little by little, I started to really be transformed back into what God had. But I think that all of those traumas and those things that happened along the way really allowed me, today I can say that, to look back and say, it was all part of the process. But, of course, going through that thing, we don't like going through it. We don't. And it didn't feel good at all. At all.
And you're still here to this day and moving forward, progressing. And I know you got a lot of great things in the works. The podcast is being successful. Your podcast is spanning overseas. Is that correct?
Yes! People have been People have been listening from all over. People have been listening from Ireland, from the United Kingdom. People are leaving messages on the podcast and are really so encouraging, letting me know that they're listening and that they're tuning in. The podcast, of course, is titled Networking. It's Your Superpower. And the one thing that I get to do with the podcast is I get to connect with people. So, Firm, you got to come on, too, so we can get you connected on the podcast. So what I get to do is connect with people, and we talk about how we network through, not only through this COVID-19 situation, but how we network in our careers and our businesses. And then I also make sure that I'm leaving tools and tips of how you can do that thing, because people think of networking, and they sometimes think that it is so difficult. But truly, if you're not networking, you ain't working. And I always say that everything that we do is relational. So whether it is, maybe you're retired and you're thinking about, I want to be in this club where people are exercising, or I want to keep my skills sharp in professional development. Toastmasters is a big way that I always say to retired individuals to keep their skills sharp. Because when you think of what Toastmasters offers, it offers you not only the leadership development to keep it going, but it helps you become such a poised speaker and to be able to hear yourself and think and process as you're starting to think and speak and make things happen in everything that you do. Yes, my podcast is popping. I'm loving the fact that I have new sponsors. I'm also looking for sponsors. I'm starting to advertise for organizations and small businesses that want to talk about what they do, large and small businesses, let me get that right, that want to talk about their business, their brand, or their product. What I'll do is I will record it, and I will share it on my podcast, which is being listened to all over the world. So it's a great opportunity.
And that's a beautiful thing. You're staying consistent with it. So that's always a beautiful thing. And
yeah.
Also to the listener audience here on Impact Voice, how can they follow your podcast, and how can they subscribe to your podcast as well? Also, us.
Yes, sir. So the podcast is on the platform Anchor. And what you can do is to find it, you just go to Anchor, anchor.fm/Mrs. Kesh Speaks, and that's MRSKESH Speaks, SPEAKS. And you can find the podcast. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Google Play. I'm working on becoming on iTunes. It is doing so many amazing things. Everywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can hear my podcast. And again, it's titled Networking, It's Your Superpower.
And that's a beautiful thing. And you just got that powerful voice that gets everybody's attention. I just want to let you know that. When I listen to one of your interviews, your voice, it gets somebody's attention. It's very powerful. It's very, I want to say, pathetic and stuff like that. And also, I know
you
military. I know we have a strong. You're welcome. I give honest to honest due. And I know military. I know the military does play a role in our family. No, males and females in the family did go to the military,
right.
retired,
That's
successful, doing the big. So that plays a role with the whole
there's a
being
lot of them.
distance
They
well
really
also in
took,
our family.
yeah, they really took military and took it on a whole nother level. Thinking about Uncle Pete, who retired, Aunt Phyllis, Cousin Teresa, all of them have done such a tremendous job when it comes to showing us as a family leadership. All of them have done an amazing job showing us what leadership looks like. So definitely shout out to all of them and that amazingness that they do when it comes to leadership. They've led our family, and they've shown us, even when we were kids, watching them show up. Cousin Teresa was always somebody that I looked up to see how she maneuvered and how she just was an amazing mother. She was an amazing woman, period. And I watched her, and she was always a big inspiration to me.
And yeah, and also, she has a strong story from her battle with cancer, and she overcame that, and she's still going strong as well also. So it's a lot of powerful people in our family, of course. The lineage, the legacy, the closeness. I know we don't see each other like we're supposed to, but when it comes together, never take anything lightly. And my next question is, and it's a very silly question, I don't want to ask this for your motivation. What motivates you to keep doing what you're doing? Which I know that is a silly question to ask because you got it all together.
No, sir, I don't always have it all together, and that's not silly. You know what truly motivates me to keep going is really aspiring to be the best. It's aspiring to just knock down these walls, take down these barriers of things that try to say, if you're a certain color, you can't do this. If you're a woman, you can't do this. If you don't have this background, you can't do this. If you don't know these people, you can't do that. That's my motivation to keep going and to keep pushing the lines of whatever tries to get set up. I always try to come through like, yeah, right, here I am. I don't care who here and how they did it before. Here I am, and here's how I'm going to do it. But I'm really, truly motivated by it, and I'm really motivated by all of the things that God is giving me to stand up and do those things. I'm motivated by seeing people say, oh, I get it. I'm motivated by all of that feedback that people give, especially when it comes to creating vision boards. That is such a joy for me to be able to see people fellowshipping. So in January, what we did is the Vision Board Extravaganza. I was able to go on the news and talk about that. This is my 5th one this year. And this year, cousin, there was probably 132 people at that event. And let me just tell you, there were all colors, all races, all ages, and that is what it looks like to me, where everybody can come to the table. It's not just one set of people. Because I always say this, if you are only marketing and you're only working with people that look like you, you're missing the boat on so many different opportunities that could come your way, and you're missing the opportunity that you can educate somebody on who you are and who God is, and all of that stuff is a motivation for me.
Yeah, and it is. And like I said, all that in the back, because you're doing it. And I say I get understood the Bible say. And I know legacy is important. I ask this to my guests all the time here on Impact. We know Proverbs talks about a good name, after it's all said and done, your legacy. When people hear your name, what will be the first thing that pops in their mind? I know because you represent big, you really is. So what would be the first thing that pops in your mind when it comes to your legacy?
When it comes to legacy, I want people to say she shared God's love and she made a difference. That's it. I want people to say that, and I want them to think about just the value of being your authentic self and who God has called you to be. And I want them to say she showed up and she was herself. She was laughing. She was loud. She was having some fun. She was dancing. I want people to know that you too can be your authentic self, and whatever that is, not necessarily how I do it, but really just knowing that I'm sharing God's love and making a difference in everything that I do. Absolutely.
And that's what's up right there. But we're going to take a quick break, and after the break, I want you to plug in all the activities you got going on. So I'm going to go play another song. This is a song called Oprah by the boy Cannon Jones out of Atlanta, Georgia. Because God about to get start pouring out some blessings. After this song, we'll tune back in. My cousin's going to put all the things she got going on in St. Louis, not just in St. Louis, but all around the world. After that, and we're going to jump right back into the interview with Miss Keith Speaks.
Yeah, 7 on the beat. Yeah. Kesha. Free life, boys. You need a miracle, you need a miracle, you need a miracle. Yeah, I got a miracle, I believe that God's about to start passing out miracles. God's about to start passing out miracles. Oh, bruh, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oh, bruh, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. I believe that God's about to start passing out miracles. God's about to start passing out miracles. Oh, bruh, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oh, bruh, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oh, bruh, you get a miracle. I believe I'm approaching the pinnacle. The devil can't touch me, I'm digital. Blessing from the spirit to the physical. Anybody need a miracle? Won't let the devil cheat me. I believe that it's near you. You so hard for to beat me. I'm a king like Gail. I release my belief. God will answer my prayers. You don't want no beef. I see them signs and wonders. It's about to blow your mind. Though the storm is raging, look here, you gon' be fine. About to use my voice. Praise is about to go up. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Miracle about to show up. I just get up in the presence so I can clear my head. The devil, he want me to panic, but I will trust instead, man. It's looking like revival. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Been waiting on your arrival. Even though I don't see it now, I'ma get exactly what I hope for. God about to start passing out these miracles like Oprah. God's about to start passing out miracles. God's about to start passing out miracles. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. I believe that God's about to start passing out miracles. God's about to start passing out miracles. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle.
You made a miracle, you made it spiritual. Rapping these lyrics, it sound like I'm lyrical. Let me slow it down a little bit. Ain't trying to get in your mix. My spirit was broke, got fixed. Reminisce about times we spent. Stand up, just trying to get lit. Take off, come down my rocket ship.
Yes, he made the image, that's the image that I strive to be. Miracles got me running with my hands, I look like zombies. Honestly, how you gon' master without the masterpiece? He making all the mirrors, I throw one back like it up off for me.
You get the miracle. I let the visual. Look at the blessing too. Hey, we going up to the roof. Hey, okay, Oprah. Latte mo. I thought I told ya. We don't do no joke.
No cap. When the doctor say no, I heard Jesus say yes. Man, I used to be cursed. Cause of Jesus, I'm blessed. Look at the lame walk, the blind see, it won't be long. Take them back to the doctor. Look, the cancer's gone. God's about to start passing out miracles. God's about to start passing out miracles. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. I believe that God's about to start passing out miracles. God's about to start passing out miracles. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oprah, you get a miracle, you get a miracle, you get a miracle. Oprah.
Welcome back. That was the boy Ken Jones featuring Free Life Boys out of Atlanta. The song Oprah. We know that God always dropping blessings, of course. And then once again, I want to say my family affair, my cousin Keisha, thank you for being here on Impact Voice. I know you got a lot of things going on. So what is the next adventure in your adventurous life?
Furman Jackson Jr. The next thing that I have going on in this life of mine is really building on this diversity and inclusion work that I get to do. I've been engulfed in a lot of the things that are happening, and that's my big thing that I'm working on, because of course that is my 9 to 5, and so I'm wanting to connect with individuals who are in that space of diversity and inclusion. So let me just put that out there. I'm believing that God is still passing out miracles. That song, yes, He is, and what He's doing globally for us is something that we've never, ever experienced. I'm working on the podcast. The podcast is the biggest thing that I have going on right now, and what I'm doing is I'm learning how to edit. I'm learning how to share and really make sure that I'm building up that marketing piece. If you know any marketing gurus, if you all are listening, I would love for you all to help me get on board with the marketing piece of this thing. That's what I want to work on right now, and the speaking opportunities that I'm doing across the nation. I am, of course, next week I am going to be doing an event where I'm working with the Professional Women's Alliance here in St. Louis, and that's going to be another opportunity for me to share networking. It's your superpower. This Sunday, the 17th, here in St. Louis, the Cupcake Social as my girl, Latasha Taylor. I will be also on her platform sharing the power of connectivity through networking and how you connect through this pandemic, but even beyond the walls of this pandemic. How do you continue to connect on Facebook as well as LinkedIn? And the reason that I'm looking at that is because when you think about on Facebook, we get connected to all these people. But how many of those people can you really, truly say that you have a relationship with and you're building with, and they know your brand and they can refer you to individuals? That's what it's all about, and I'll be talking a little bit about that. And I have a couple more things that are happening virtually. I'm working with a really good friend of mine who created my website. His name is Ramondo Davis. We have some amazing things, and he's wanting to work with small businesses and entrepreneurs to build your website. And what he's going to do is offer some insight on how, what, when, and where, and how. And he's just so phenomenal when it comes to building that, and he really is going to just offer just so much feedback. He's going to offer things where he's talking about what you need to, improve your search visibility. How are people going to find you? He has about 15 years of experience, probably more than that, I think. But he has experience in internet marketing, and so he's going to come to the table, and I'm going to partner with him. We're getting ready to make this thing do what it do. So, of course, we want to connect with small businesses and entrepreneurs to talk about how we can really build and grow our businesses at the same time as he built his business.
Man, that's powerful, and I think you also have a book in the works as well, also. So when will the book be coming out? I'll be following.
The book is scheduled to come. Yes, I see you paying attention because I almost forgot to mention that. So I appreciate you. Yes, my book is hot off the press, Networking It's Your Superpower, and I'm in the final stages. I pivoted a little bit, and I was at this point where I said, you know what, I wasn't loving the content, and if you know me, it has to be energy. I have to love it, and if I don't, I really just can't put my all into it. And so I'm making sure that the book is powerful. But it'll be out June 15th. I'm going to do a pre-launch where I can do pre-sales and get things out and make sure that everything that I'm doing is really lined up.
I say you busy, and like I say, you inspire me and motivate me, and the spirit of consistency. You stay consistent in what you're doing, and that's always a beautiful thing. Now seeing the fruits of your labor. Speaking engagements. Will you eventually be traveling, not just in St. Louis, but different parts of our nation?
Cousin, say it one more time. It seems like it broke up.
Okay, what I was asking was, we were speaking engagements. Will you eventually be traveling, like to other cities and other states like that with your brand?
I thought that was what you said. I didn't want to misquote you, but yes, I will get to travel. And I'm thinking about us doing something in the Alabama area. So, yes, once we get back in a way where we're able to travel and move forward, I definitely want to make sure that we connect and we do some things in your area and really light these cities up with this message and this power that we have within the inside of us. I just recently, the last time I've traveled was at the end of last year. I was the host and the MC for Together Digital Conference that they had in the Columbus, Ohio area. And it was just ladies that were in the tech, SEOs, all kind of people that were in that IT space. And it really offered me an opportunity to get into that digital space, to get out and speak in that platform. So that was the last time that I've actually traveled, but I have not been anywhere other than local since 2020 has kicked in. So with this COVID thing, it's put a few things on the kind of, I won't even say that they've been canceled, because the majority of them schedule, and what we're doing is we're doing things virtually, so it's allowing us to continue to pivot but still bring content to individuals that we're working with. So, yes, that's another great question.
Awesome. Like I said, you do a lot of great things, of course. Just your energy, your fire, your passion, and you're a young lady, of course. When I say old, I'm not calling you old bag or nothing like that. but but you're still a young woman, of course. And just when I was young, you know what? You always had that mother demeanor about you. As me as a young child, you always had it about you, that no cut, no nonsense type demeanor about yourself, and that strong will. And I just want to let you know that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you and all these compliments. I'm going to have to pay you now.
Well, like I said, I get honest due, and it's just from the heart. And like I said, you just doing, and I'm just thankful for how God is bringing everything to pass. For years ago, He really dealt me by having more time with my family. And I'm seeing it come to pass now, even though He used this network, because we have to be there. So I'm starting to see everything come to pass now. Connecting with family once again, be able to restructure relationships, because we're in the next generation to take the family lineage to the next level. Because from the women, like from Anna Pearl to all them, they're in age now. But it's up to us now to be able to take it to the next level.
It is, and I think the fact that we're all getting connected, but then I love the fact that we are all connected to social media, and technology really has been a great way for all of us to connect. And then over the years and going through, life's traumas and things changing and the economy kind of doing its thing, I think that everybody has dealt with something. And I always say this: your storm may not be my same exact storm. I might not be in the same boat with you, but we're all in the same storm. And as we think about that as a family, we get to connect with people, but I don't want to leave anybody out. The one thing about our grandmothers and our aunties and the things that they did, they loved on everybody. Whether whatever your situation was, they loved on you. And my grandma was the same way. She would be on her street. I'm telling you, Furman, everybody knew her on her street. I'm telling you, everybody knew her. It didn't matter if you had a suit on or you had a wine bottle in your hand. She loved you, and I bet you what she did was share the love of God with them. And she was one of those ladies that she just loved on people. And I got that from her, and I'm grateful for it all. And you're right, it's our time to take that torch. These next family reunions that are coming up, I look forward to seeing you and your family get it done. Y'all come, and we make sure we connect in whatever city takes it. We got to make sure that we build the momentum up and that we keep it going, because even as we lose individuals, because death is inevitable, you know what I'm saying? So people are going to pass, but we got to make sure that we're picking up that torch and we're leaving a legacy and we're walking in it, but also affirming that we set an example. We can't just be out here living any old kind of way and think that these youth in our family are going to connect. They're not. We got to build relationships with them. We have to connect. When I show up in their circles, they already know I'm getting ready to bust going on. I'm busting it up. And I make sure that I love on them, and I hug their necks, and I kiss them, and I grab their babies, and make sure that they know that, it's all love, and we are in this thing together. There's not any big people and little people. We all are family. And I think as we look at how we get to transition into this new normal, because things are different, and we have to look at how we're going to move and keep going. So we canceled the family reunion that we had planned in July here in St. Louis, but we're looking at ways that we can pivot and do something. We're thinking about doing something at the end of the year, and we're thinking about making sure that whatever we do, we still stay connected. So don't you all think that we're forgetting about you all, because we're not. We're just trying to be kind of transparent and look at what's going on when it comes to this COVID-19, but keep our elders, keep them well, because at the end of the day, we want them around. We want them around.
That's true. And I agree. And for those who, the original plan when me and you finna do the interview was to do the interview within the midst of the family reunion. That was the original plan for everybody who didn't know. The original plan was for us to do the interview in St. Louis live. So that was the original plan. But this is not going to be the last time. Eventually, in the near future, that we will do it together in St. Louis live. before everybody. So I'm excited about that with the networking. And also, we're going to stay in contact. I'm not saying just be saying that, but, stay in contact. It's that time. It's that season for that. Stay in contact with each other, of course, and things like that, which we have. And I know you're busy. I know we got 9 minutes left on the broadcast. But let me ask this question. Is I'm talking to the next Oprah Winfrey. I want to ask you that because you show is doing a lot of things.
You better say it. You're talking to the next Kesha Kent talk show host.
Okay, then.
I don't let Oprah have her lane, but yes. And I have to remind myself, okay, I don't want to look to the left or to the right, but yep, you're looking at the next talk show host. I'm going to take this thing all over the world, and I'm going to trust God. I'm doing it unafraid. There's a book that I was reading, and I continue to go back to it. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Because here's the thing. We may get tripped up on what it looks like and how this and that is, but I'm walking in this thing, and you're right. I'm on my way. I received that. I've been given that. I've been given that also so many times. People will say, you know what, you made this so much easier because you hosted it. I love the way that you host. I'm excited about that. And one of the things I just do, cousin, is I stick to my authentic self. I'm not trying to be anybody else. I can only be Kesha. So, yes, you see that talk show host. I'm believing it.
And that's what it is. Speak those things, be those things, words the Bible say. And like I said, I'm proud of you.
Right.
Like I said, you inspire me. You motivate me as well. And I just got to give a big shout out to one of our other cousins, Sydney. At his age, being in his 60s, he doing it big, and he motivates me. Like when I stayed at his house, when I went to visit in Atlanta, and he's saying, Reese's Pieces, you always tell me Reese's Pieces.
Coming.
And he always say, you gotta live. You only live once. And when he told me that day, that's something I applied to my life.
Wow.
And he showed me at his age, at 60, you can still enjoy life. Like I said, we everybody in our family is very energetic, and I truly thank God for this family. I really do. I thank God for our bloodline. I thank God for our lineage. And like I said, I'm looking forward to staying more and more contact with each other, of course. So, cuz, you have any final remarks for our listening audience before we have to add this in? Because I know you're a busy woman.
Yes. I'm never too busy. I always have time. And the one thing that I always want people to remember is when you think about what it is that you want to bring to the table, practice on your craft. The way that things get better. So me as a speaker, I am involved in Toastmasters because I want to be the best speaker. I want to be able to lead. I want to be able to connect. And if you ever were to talk to my children, they would say, my mama always telling us to stop saying and ah, because is a filler word. Make sure that you stand on what you're going to say. Think about it and then say it. So practice your craft. Whatever it is that you're doing, get connected to people that are already where you want to be. Find out who's doing what, get the training and the development that you need, and make sure that you continue to soar. And when you think about how you soar, putting your work in, doing what it is. Sometimes I have to get up early. For me to finish this book how I wanted it to be, I have to get up early and start my day early. And I'm telling you, sometimes I don't want to do it. But before I do everything I do, cousin, I pray first. And I ask God's favor, and because it said that your gifts will make room for you. But in order for us to have those gifts and to give them out, we got to tune them in. We got to put the work in. We got to invest, continue in education, find out how you can get better, and do what you can do. If you're a barber, you should be going to seminars. You should be staying connected. You should make sure that everything that you do comes back to your work. You should be showing it. You should be on Instagram, Facebook. You should be showing that work that you do, and make sure that even if it's only one person tuning in, I always say that I'm going to give my best as if it was 1 million people tuning in. So do what you do, but take your craft and sharpen that thing. Make your craft better by what you put into the pot, and taste it. If it don't taste good, put a little more seasoning in it. Whatever you do, continue to build, and everything you put in that pot, keep stirring that pot. Stop and taste it. Maybe you got to make it a little more hotter. Whatever you have to do, I always think it in that form of practicing, because it makes perfect every time.
man, that was up right there. And like I said, I got one final question. I know we got 4 minutes left. In your life, I know you're very productive. You said early in the morning. What time do you exactly start your day? 'Cause I know entrepreneurs, they start their day super early. So I'm asking entrepreneurs, as yourself, what time do you start your day?
You know what, cousin? It depends on the day. But today I started my day at about 5:45. One of the things that I got up today and I did is because I knew that I would have a day that I have a couple different things going on. So I have to get up first. I'm meditating these days even more and practicing yoga, because what I'm finding is it's helping me become centered. It's helping me listen to the voice that's in the inside of me versus me tuning into everything on the outside. So it's really doing such a great work in me to do that. And I have to get up because as I'm finishing and cranking out these last pieces of my book, it is really something that I have to commit to, and there has to be sacrifice. And I get it. And so I'm saying yes to me today, yes to my legacy, yes to my husband, yes to our family, yes to what it is that we want, and yes to success.
And that's a beautiful thing. And like I said, cuz I thank you once again, take time out your beauty skill to be here on Impact Voice. For those who missed it, the replay will be up shortly, so you can go back, check out what we discussed and what we talked about. So we're about to get ready to sign off on here on Impact, and I thank everybody for thank everybody for tuning in, thank everybody for what they're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, keep striving, keep being the best you, be the best you, master everything in life, and don't limit yourself and don't take the limits off. Well, cuz we got 2 minutes left, so do you have any final remarks for the listeners on this here on Impact?
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's been such a joy. You're going to have to teach me about this blog, radio, talk show stuff, because I think that's something I want to do. But you know me, I try to do 50 other things. But I'm grateful for your time today. I'm grateful for you reaching out. I'm grateful for us staying connected. And I'm grateful for this amazing opportunity, and just pray God's blessing over everybody under the sound of my voice.
Awesome stuff. Well, cuz I'm about to let you get back to your work, because I know you're getting this book and stuff. And when the book does drop, I do want to buy the book. Keyword buy, not free. I want to buy the book.
Come on.
Because that's another broadcast. So when it comes to black people and stuff, we want free stuff. Especially when it comes to family and stuff like that.
I'm speaking against that.
But I want to buy. I want to take cash.
They're going to line up and buy.
As that, pay either cash app you, debit card, but put money in your hand for your book, because that's your baby. That's your baby with the book and stuff like that. So to those out there, man, support, pay cash, pay debit card, cash app them. Don't get free stuff. But that's another broadcast for another day. But we better be ready to sign off here on Impact Voice.
Pay for people.
It pays off. It's sowing seed. It's sowing seed. Trust me. Once you sow seed, you get a harvest back.
Every time.
I see the benefits of it. It works. Seed time, harvest time. But we better get ready to sign off here on Impact Voice. I want everybody to have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I'll see y'all next time here on Walking This Way Impact Voice. Peace, everybody.
Be blessed.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His Ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's